The 28-year-old German center back from Chelsea, Antonio Rudiger, is in a difficult situation with his contract running down to the end of the year. There is the big question right now of if he stays or if he goes. Bayern Munich is in the mix. Julian Nagelsmann is stirring the pot. Antonio Rudiger has been stirring the pot lately. You've even had Mika Richards on the Football Daily come out saying he has been the best center back this past year in the league under Thomas Tuchel. And it is all very interesting. And like I said, the topic of will he stay or will he leave is completely in the air. And that is what I want to dive into and talk about today, guys, is will Antonio Rudiger leave or will he stay? This is such an interesting and fun topic because at this time next year, he could be the highest paid center back ever. But guys, before we jump straight into things, if you haven't already, hit the sub button, hit the like button, and drop a comment down below what you guys think of the Antonio Rudiger situation and his contract dilemma. But guys, we're going to jump straight into things. Antonio Rudiger, for me, has really been the best center back in the Premier League this past year. Everyone's going to say Ruben Diaz. They didn't win the Premier League without Ruben Diaz. I just don't believe that. I think since you saw Frank Lampard leave, I don't think that was a bad call to sack him. But once Thomas Tuchel stepped in, that is when Antonio Rudiger just elevated another level. He has been phenomenal. What you see from Antonio Rudiger is something you don't get from every center back. I love what Antonio Rudiger gives you. He gives you crazy shots from goal. He's played 5 games already, scored a goal. He gives you amazing passing. His passing completion is 69.63 passes completed or attempted, and he has an 89.7% completion rate. Unbelievable from Antonio Rudiger. He's a phenomenal center back with still an amazing talent. He's a late bloomer at the age of 28. Also, another thing I love about him is my favorite player ever to play the game is Carlos Puyol. And if you look at Antonio Rudiger's track record, he's an extremely loyal player. Played many years for Stuttgart coming out of their program, and he's also played many years at Chelsea and also having 2 great years at Roma. Rudiger is a guy that doesn't go down with a heck of a lot of injuries. He is also a great player at passing the ball, heading the ball, great in the air. Physicality is off the charts. He's quick. He looks like he's a great leader, and he's just an amazing player to have around the club and around the team. Such a great player. And for me, when I heard Mika Richards say on Football Daily that he is the best center back in the league at this current moment in time, or the past year, I couldn't have agreed with him more. Just the change that Thomas Tuchel brought to the club and what Antonio Rudiger elevated to, he has been phenomenal this year. And I don't think Chelsea would have won the Champions League without him, without Antonio Rudiger. I think this German national side is going to have a huge step up with Antonio Rudiger and the path he's taken this past couple of years. And I just think Antonio Rudiger is an absolute unbelievable center back. And for me, he is probably the best right now. Unless you're looking at the likes of Presnel Kimpembe, Rafael Varane. People will still throw Sergio Ramos into the equation. Jules Koundé. There's so many great players. But for me, I think Antonio Rudiger is right up there. Virgil van Dijk's still up there, even though of that injury. Ruben Diaz, you could argue, but I don't think he's up there with Antonio Rudiger right now. Just Antonio Rudiger is another level. And I understand Chelsea doesn't want to pay him oodles because they're not a team that pays lots in wages. They're a team that pays lots for a transfer fee. And with Antonio Rudiger's contract running down, he is asking for around £200,000. That is looking like the fee he's seeking out per week for his deals. And he is willing to agree or to renew his deal if he gets around £200,000 a week. Do I blame him? No, because I do think he's an unbelievable center back. If you're looking at even Manchester United, David De Gea is on around £400,000. You have some crazy wages around the Premier League. And if Antonio Rudiger thinks he's worth £200,000, I completely agree with him because there's other players around the leagues, around the world that are getting far more than him. And I think he's one of the best in his position, at least top 5. So he definitely deserves crazy wages. And those aren't crazy wages compared to other players around the world. But there's other talk. People and outlets out there believe if he does leave Chelsea, 3 teams that are in for him are Bayern Munich, PSG, and Real Madrid. And they're believing he could get around £400,000 or more so 400,000 euros because he won't be coming back to England if he leaves Chelsea. If he goes Bayern Munich, PSG, or Real Madrid, he could get upwards of 400,000 euros per week, which is absolutely insane if he runs that contract down. I wouldn't blame him. I really wouldn't. You're going to some phenomenal teams. You're going to the Galacticos or Real Madrid. You're going to go play at PSG with Sergio Ramos, Lionel Messi, Neymar. Or you're going to Bayern Munich, German club, his home team, one of the best teams out there, especially German. He is German. He'll go play with one of the most exciting teams in his country, one of the most exciting young German managers, basically with all of his German internationals too, so you can't deny that. And before I talk about if I think he's going to stay or if he thinks he's going to go, Bayern Munich boss Julian Nagelsmann came out with some very interesting comments. He is not one to talk about players who are with other clubs. A lot of managers don't do that. But Julian Nagelsmann came out saying this the other day. Or he came out saying this a couple days ago. He said, in principle, I am no fan of talking about players who are under contract with other clubs while we are outside of the transfer window. But I'm talking about Antonio Rudiger as a football fan. He has made fantastic progress. Thomas Tuchel has handled him extremely well since taking charge. He was previously on the scrap heap at Chelsea, but now he is one of the most important members of their defense. He has incredibly good fighting spirit and is a very good defender. I always think it's great when a player lives up to his job description, and that is always the case with Tony. Such high praise from one of the best managers in the world right now and one of the youngest and most promising managers in the world right now in Julian Nagelsmann. And for me, if I think he'll stay or if I think he'll go, I think he'll run that contract down. I don't think Chelsea will give him the money he's looking for in £200,000. Chelsea aren't a team that's going to fork out money in wages. They're just not going to do that. I don't think they're going to change their wage bill just to work around Antonio Rudiger. For me, they're a team that gives out the transfer budget, the transfer fees. They're not a team that gives out the wages. And yes, they still do give out high wages, but Antonio Rudiger isn't going to get £200,000 from Chelsea. I just don't believe it or don't see it. And I do see him ending up at Bayern Munich. I think that's a perfect landing spot for him, playing with all of his mates, playing with all of his German internationals, bonding with all of his German club mates. One of the best German center backs. It just makes sense for him to land up back in Germany, playing for Bayern Munich, especially after those kind words from Julian Nagelsmann. But guys, let me know what you guys think down below in the comments where you think Antonio Rudiger will land. Will he stay? Will he go? That question's still up in the air. I'm going to make a separate video talking about what I think about him and who is the true best center back in the world, and just talking about his comments earlier in the week. But guys, let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Give me a like, drop a comment, and drop a sub if you haven't already. I'll see you guys for the next one. It'll be very soon, but I'll see you for the next one, guys. Peace.